Okay, lads, I've already spoke to you both. Keep them punches up.
So touch of gloves between the two. This is 4 3-minute rounds in the super lightweight division. CARR up until this point has been a lightweight. I'm pretty sure that's the weight that he's going to continue to campaign at when it comes to titles, when he reaches that kind of level.
Second round.
Teammate Johnny Coyle in the crowd there, I think, supporting him, come to watch his boy.
He's a quality fighter, Johnny Coyle. He's
Very
just
class.
struggled to get the opportunities.
Yeah, he's been on some great shows, he's put on some fantastic performance, and I think he's beaten some good boys along the way, and I think opponents are reluctant to fight him for that reason. It'd be nice to see one of the champions take a chance on Johnny, wouldn't it?
Why would you, though? If you were one of them, why would you? He's definitely in that category and just needs something, as you say, to happen for him, the board to mandate him for something, and together get a really good, big, meaningful fight. But CARR here just looking to try and step onto the front foot. Big overhand right there, just windmilled in by CAJINA, which didn't land. Then tries the same on the left-hand side. No joy with that one either.
A very solid start from CARR. He looks very solid with his shots. Every shot he's landed so far seems to be, not put a dent in his opponent, but you can see it's a solid shot.
Well, he's got 4 stoppages in his 9 wins.
Doesn't sound a lot, I think, to people, but that, if he gets one tonight, that's a 50-50, which means half the people that have got in ain't got back out at the end. So bear in mind that's a good stoppage ratio.
It's been a bit stop-start for him. He made his debut just over 3 years ago now. So this will be fight number 10 in pretty much bang on 3 years. He probably would have liked to have been a bit more active than that, I would have thought. Boxing down at the I box with Eddie Lamb and Alan Smith, as mentioned. Always had a good stable down there. Johnny Gartland, another one of them actually. He's going to box for the British welterweight title against Gary Corcoran because his teammate Bradley Skeet has given it up.
Very kindly of him giving it up so his teammate can have a shot.
He's won it outright, Skeet, and then of course went over to Bilbao to have a crack at Kerman Leharaga for the vacant title, the title that Sam Eggington gave up, and that didn't go according to plan at all. But Leharaga looks...
He shocked the life out of everyone that night, I think. I don't think anyone expected that to happen that evening.
He looks an exciting fighter. He's got Frankie Gavin, actually, his next defence. That's not until October, November time. So a lot of experience, a lot of good fighters in that gym, and rubbing shoulders with each other, all able to learn from each other.
And I think that'll help bring the boys on. When you see other people that are not better than you, but doing things you feel like you want to chase, you want to chase, you want to chase. He's doing that, I want to do that, and it makes the boys work just a little bit harder.
But again, CAJINA's another one here. He's come to have a bit of a go, definitely. He's a bit wild, he's a bit reckless and open at times, but you've really got to keep your eye on him.
CARR staying nice and calm and relaxed and compact for all this though. He doesn't seem to be, making too many mistakes or getting too reckless, has he?
No, kept it nice and tight there. Had a good look.
That's an interesting choice of uniform in the corner, with his camouflage vest top.
Both Eddie Lamb and Alan Smith just having their say in the corner. Quickly off his stool there, CAJINA. Went the distance against Gary Colley in Belfast in June. That was over 4 rounds. Gary Colley, another good Irish young pro, successful amateur. He was stopped by David Oliver Joyce, Joe Murray and Zelfa Barrett. Good fighters, all of them, but there's been a distance with the likes of Ryan Walsh, Martin J. Ward and Declan Geraghty. So CAJINA knows exactly what he's about in there.
He doesn't look upset with his work so far. He saluted one of his friends and the audience between them rounds. So he's not uncomfortable in there. It's a very awkward style when he's tucking up. He doesn't look too much like he's enjoying it, but I can imagine being in front of him trying to fight him, that would only make you feel awkward, because he's doing these awkward positions and it's an unorthodox defence. You'd be hesitant to throw anything, because usually they're square on when they're tucked up. He's sort of turning and leaning at the same time.
Just kind of stoops over away to his right-hand side every now and again, doesn't he, with the weight kind of quite heavily on that side. And I think he's beginning to look for a half overhand right, kind of right hook CARR to try and catch him over the top with it, because he knows that he can't really, once he's transferred his weight that way, he can't really get it back. But I'd imagine he's been doing it for a long time, CAJINA, and it does seem to work okay for him, but he's looking for the left uppercut there, CARR, which, given that kind of stance, would also be another one which would potentially work for him.
Missed by a whisker with that right hand.
Well, he definitely can whack a bit. It's not just a nickname, it's well deserved.
Gesture from his opponent, appreciating that he got caught there. He says in his shorts he likes racing cars.
CAJINA's just finding it hard here, really, to throw anything.
CARR with plenty of sponsors on his kit this evening. Is that Blink? They're hard to read from here. Blink, is it Whites? He's got another one on the back. Can't read that one. But again, if you get a moment, check out the guy's sponsors. I'm sure he'll appreciate it, and the sponsor will appreciate a bit of a return on the help they give to these boys. Got to remember, careers like this can't happen without people like sponsors and even people buying tickets to support these people. It all adds up to making these careers happen. If you enjoy your boxing, you want to see boxing progress, helping these boys out is only going to serve well towards that.
Well, I was talking to Dan Azaxo the other day. He's one of the float fights at Wembley tomorrow night. He's 2-0, a light heavyweight from Hammersmith, and he's got a date coming up in a couple of weeks. And we were talking about it, and he said it was so much more important for him to sell tickets for that than it was for Wembley. He didn't really bother trying to sell any tickets for Wembley because Anthony Joshua sells those by himself. So he saved he kept his powder dry for 2 weeks' time, when I think he's at Tottenham Green Pools, just up the road in North London.
This is the thing, what local supporters need to remember. They say they would like to see their local boy on a big show, with an Anthony Joshua show. But if you want your friend, your local fighter to get to that point, you need to support them to get there. Otherwise they won't get there. The problem is you can't just strike. If you haven't won an Olympics or an amateur world title, you don't get put straight on them shows. So if you're a boxing fan and you're supporting your local fighter or your friends, even if you can't make it, buy a ticket just to support him, to back him up. Because if he keeps winning, he will get to that point, but he needs your support to get to that position first.
Round 3.
So into the third, they're scheduled for 4. It's super lightweight. Danny Carr in the black and white, Reynaldo CAJINA in the blue and white. And it's a case for CAJINA of just getting through this. He hasn't really been able to throw too much back. He's winged off a few wide hooks every now and again, but Carr has caught him a good few times. Nothing too clean and heavy, but he does have that habit, as we picked up, of just stooping away to his right-hand side, CAJINA, and it leaves him in an awkward place. It leaves him immobile and really unable to avoid that overhand right or a left to the body, a left hook to the body.
Carr getting caught with what could possibly be the first shot that's landed clean on him in the fight. I feel like Carr would probably appreciate his opponent throwing a bit more back at him. I feel like I sense him he's not showing his work, but a little bit of frustration where he's kind of not chasing him around the ring. That sounds like he's doing something wrong, but And looking at his opponent here, taking that knee there unnecessarily, he was getting the time, he was giving the rest. I feel like perhaps he's starting to feel the pace. CARR's getting a little bit frustrated. If he can stay calm, seeing an opponent do something like that is clearly bothering him. Keep doing what you're doing, maybe up it if you can land a few more clean shots. He's looked at the corner a couple of times now. Perhaps he feels like he doesn't fancy too much more of this. But I do sense that CARR may be getting slightly frustrated. His opponent is making it awkward. It's not like it's not that he's hard to hit because he's moving. He's hard to hit because he does these awkward positions.
He's hard to hit clean, isn't he? He's not hard to hit, he's hard to hit clean. That's the problem. And I think you're right. I do think he is beginning to get slightly frustrated with it. But there are signs that CAJINA's just going to use every trick that he can to get through this, although
like
he'll need to.
He wants to be awkward now. He wants to get in the way. He wants to nick time. I can feel it for CARR from here. I can see that he wants to engage a little bit. See, he's taking a turn there and having a little walk. Nicks a couple of seconds. It's one of the oldest tricks in the book to nick a few seconds there. His gumption will come out in a minute.
Good jab, good chopping down right hand from CARR again, who throws that right hand. I'd just like to see him just throw 1-2s, which is that kind of right hand over the top followed by left hook to the body, because he really cannot miss with either of those two shots. The left hook to the body doesn't necessarily get through because he kind of collapses onto it, just as he did there, CAJINA, but they just make it really uncomfortable for him. But this is a difficult mission. To get a stoppage against this kind of fighter is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, I feel a little bit for CARR. I feel like he would have probably preferred a different kind of opponent. He's awkward, but he's not awkward in a I can think my way through it kind of way. He's awkward in a way that he looks easy to hit, but he's clearly not. He's hitting him on the top of the head, on the back of the arms, and even if you see a target and land it, he's turning and he's making it just horrible.
So one more to go in this one, scheduled for 4. Danny CARR completely in control of this one. They'll have won all 3 rounds up to this point. CAJINA just looking to try and navigate his way towards the final bell, which will be a kind of moral victory for him if he can do that. All the tables full around ringside. Great top of the bill tonight. Adam Harper against Billy Bird for the vacant English super welterweight title, a title that was held by Ted Cheeseman, that he was going to defend against James Metcalf in a fight that would also have been a final British title eliminator, but Cheeseman decided to move on rather than take that fight, but does fight for the British title anyway next month. So as we've been outlining, it's a really interesting division, super welter, just bursting with good young fighters.
Such a great division.
Final round here, Danny CARR on top, bossing it. Can he really get through to Reynaldo CAJINA in this final round? There's a good left hand, but he responded well to it, CAJINA. He caught one there, CAJINA, as he was just doubled over to that right-hand side again. But as soon as it landed, he threw something back. Decent right hand there from CARR. He turns southpaw here. Chops down with the right hand. He's kind of standing square on at times. CAJINA not throwing a lot back.
It's kind of a continuance from the last round. He just wants to nick some time, turn his back, make it awkward and make it weird for him.
I think the southpaw idea is not a bad one, actually, when you consider what CAJINA's doing, because he can just lead with that right hook and then throw the left hand straight or to the body, which is really what he was doing before anyway, but it just made it slightly easier to do, possibly. Hasn't boxed since March. CARR, he was up against Paul Holt, who's a capable fighter, beat him on points over 6. And that was his first outing since last June, so it's been a bit frustrating. Only boxed twice last year, actually, which won't have been what he wanted. I mentioned the inactivity will have been irritating for him. He boxed 6 times in his first calendar year as a pro, and this is just his 4th fight since then.
Again, CAJINA looking more like he's feeling sorry for himself now. He's making it very messy, doing really unorthodox head turns and tilts with his body, and I think CARR will appreciate hearing the end of the bell to this one and look forward to the next one.
Well, he's got 4 rounds under his belt, and
He'll get the win tonight. He's got 4 rounds under the belt. There's no gap there now. He can come straight off of it and hopefully get another one out before the end of the year.
referee just having a quick chat there with CAJINA, who's just trying to get through to the final bell here. And there it is. So that'll be 4-0 for Danny CARR. And win number 10 in his career.
Can't see it going any other way than 4-0. Teammate Bradley skating ringside as well, watching the action.
It'll be interesting to see what's next for him, actually, because as we say, no one thought that would happen to him against Reynaldo. I'll admit, I didn't know that much about the Spanish fighter before he went over there. I'd read some reports and knew that he drew big crowds, but it was difficult to tell exactly how good he was. He'll probably push on to try and challenge for a world title sooner rather than later, so maybe Skeet will get another crack at that. He's a boxer I really like. He's just got such good polished skills.
He's very smart, very tidy, very technical, and you have to appreciate his boxing ability.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you please to show your appreciation for both these men inside the ring? And after 4 rounds of professional boxing, the contest has been scored 40-36 in favour of your winner, and still with a 100% record, the Cannon, Danny CARR!
So 40 points to 36, that was all it could ever have been, and CARR goes to 10-0, and he'll be glad to have.
Congratulations, 10th pro fight, you remain unbeaten. Pleased with that?
Yeah, blinding. I just wanted to get out. I haven't boxed for about 6 months, something like that, so it's nice to get back in there.
Shake a bit of ring rust.
Huh?
Shake a bit of ring rust.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, I felt good. Started getting into the last round, I started getting in my stride a bit, but great stuff. I'm more than fit to do more than 4 rounds, and looking to push on now, hopefully Southern Area title.
I was going to say, that's what you're reaching for, Southern Area.
Been speaking to my manager and Lee and that, and we've asked for the Southern Area, so hopefully something comes of that. Nothing yet, but hopefully I want that in my next fight or next 2 fights at least.
Well, well done in the win, and you must be pleased to get the rounds.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
No worries. Back to you, Andy.